What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome to your creative forecast. This is for you, Aries, your creative forecast for July. We've got a couple things coming up this month. First and foremost, on July 13th, we have a full moon in Capricorn. And so that's basically going to be expanding on the details that helps the passion from the Sagittarius full moon take flight. So a bit of discipline, determination, ambitious dreaming. And it's going to be a good time to release that and really looking at that practical determination, right? And then on the 28th, we have the new moon in Leo, which is about fearlessly shining the light, but also kind of cultivating this quiet, fiery trait within us, the quiet passion within us that helps to stoke the fire, right? And it's about soft strength and power, calling your creativity back to yourself within. And it's also a bit of play and free thinking as a kind of way of sparking new ideas. So this is going to be a great time for you to shine. If you, especially because you're a fire sign, this, I think for you, Aries, it's going to really be using internally facing joy to catalyze the methodical progress that you might make from and within the full moon in Capricorn time. And then on July 29th, we have the Jupiter retrograde, and that is an equally excellent time. I've got some notes here that I've made. I think it's going to be a good time to test our limitations and assumptions. But I think that Jupiter in Aries was a lot about personal power, independence, being in touch with what's most important to your sense of self, and kind of a baptism by fire into your sense of self, right? I feel like that a lot of conversations that I've had with folks and just, seen elsewhere, it's like this, it was that energy a little bit at times. And so I think it's going to be a time of, testing a bit of your limitation and assumptions as well. Assumptions that you're making about your personal power, about some of the themes of this month to begin with. And it might call for some pauses in decision making because, you don't, will these decisions take away from or lend themselves to a sense of self? Will they honor you, right? Will they honor you? And this, there could be decisions. It's important not to be impulsive because Jupiter's still in Aries when it goes retrograde. So don't be impulsive, but stay true to what is going to keep the faith for you. So ask yourself, is this decision going to require me, if you have to make big decisions, is this going to require me to restore faith later? Or does this honor me and that faith now, right? Does it honor me now? And this is going to be felt most strongly by your sign. So by Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So those will be mostly, I'm gathering like feelings of growth. The fixed signs are the least affected by the Jupiter retrograde. You might feel it in the pre-retrograde shadow period, and then Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, they'll feel it, but not as much as more so than the fixed signs, but nonetheless, it's their inner world is set to become more expansive. So it's going to be this deep richness and flavor to your inner world. So that's what's happening this month, Aries. I wanted to make sure I got my notes out for that. And in keeping with the themes, I was meditating on the energy while I was on the water yesterday kayaking, and the book, Toni Morrison's book Beloved, came to mind, and the concept of rememory. And so memory is basically a constant knowledge, right? That's a constant knowledge that stays with us. But rememory is the arrival of things that we've forgotten about that, can signal, it can signal this way that we weren't expecting to remember those specific details, right? They can be repressed things coming up from deep within, but it's more so recalling something you forgot you knew. And where this energy comes in for me is, it comes in with the, so I was kayaking and I was around this particular part of the lake, and there were it used to be a quarry, like a little, so they flooded it, and then it became this lake. And you could see these really old trees underwater, and the roots were still intact, and the water was still enough that you could see this intricate root. Some parts of the root were as big as the kayak itself. So it was this beautiful underwater root system. And I almost felt like these were the parts of the earth and ourselves that we forgot we knew, that these transits are going to really help us to ground and to be in that place of creatively remembering what we forgot we were aware of and knew. I took some extra notes here. So it's, thinking about recollection of what we've forgotten. And also what is the earth, what is the earth's rememory? What is, what is that call back when it's cast in a gentle light in this, the energy of Cancer this month, the energy of these transits this month, right? What does that feel like? This watery energy, this beautiful, gentle energy, and thinking about the human-made constructs like dams and what they repress. But then when we stumble upon them, we don't see everything that dam has, left us to forget about the space and the earth that was there. So it's this beautiful remembrance, this beautiful rememory from that book, the Toni Morrison's book, Beloved. I highly recommend it. The quote I'll read to you, it's on page 43. It says, "Some things go on, pass on. Some things just stay. I used to think it was just my rememory. Some things you forget, other things you never do." And it's like, it's this sort of vacillation between the two. So it can be like a calling back energy, but I think it's more so like allowing ourselves to delight and surprise ourselves with our personal power. Yes, that one aspect of it, but remembering the things that we forgot we knew, the light we forgot we held. So we're going to kick the energy off here for you, Aries. So this is a great month. There's a lot of good energy here, a lot of good energy. When people hear retrogrades, they tend to, get a little squirmy, but these retrogrades, they happen every year and they're nothing to necessarily be afraid of. I think it's more so just stepping into the reflection and the periods of reflection that they offer us, the pauses that they offer us. So Spirit, what messages do you have for Aries for this creative forecast for July, please? And thank you so much. Okay, so we have beauty. We also have across the waters. Yeah, that's really what that's like there. So we have beauty, across the waters, and we also have coming together. Interesting. Could be, okay. So across the waters and coming together. I'm going to read, whoops, sorry about that. I hit the microphone grabbing my book. I'm going to read across the waters here. No, okay, across the waters. You are being called across the waters as if crossing a bridge of light from one ocean to a far greater one. These waters are your emotional waters, holding your feelings, your attitudes, your expectations, and your fears and doubts, as well as your hopes and dreams. It can seem like such a lot to navigate. Sometimes our waters feel overcrowded, as if swarms of people were descending into the ocean on a sweltering hot day. Hardly finding a space in the water to cool ourselves, we can feel as though there is just no room for faith, trust, peace, and love. Jupiter retrograde might, we can feel that way, right? So there is just too much happening in that water. We yearn for the cool, calm mountain lake, serene, echoing a gentle dispensation of grace. You are being called across the waters, out from an overcrowded sea into the cool spaciousness of the endless lake. So it's time to let go of some mental clutter, some attitudes, some thoughts. Ask for help and bathe yourself in the green and gold rays of healing color. Just imagine them cascading down around you and through you like a waterfall. It's a bit like you're moving to a new neighborhood in a cleaner and more spacious town. It might be a bit unfamiliar at first, but soon enough you'll enjoy the difference. This oracle brings you a message. It's your time to think about something in a different light. Soon you will have a shift in perspective, and the feeling of overwhelm, stress, and just too much going on will be replaced with serene trust and peacefulness. Know that beneath even the most chaotic mind is a place of deep, quiet serenity within. Do whatever helps you dive deep to find it. Dance, take some rest, meditate, do yoga, write, paint, make love, make music. In that quiet serenity within, you'll be leaving unnecessary chaos behind, and you'll be presented with the gift of a new way forward. I feel like that's beautiful energy. And that's sort of, I think it's like this crossing, bridging consciousness energy, I think, is what's coming through here quite loud. So we're going to pull from the Tarot of the Heart here. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective, my Aries collective? Please and thank you. Okay, oops, let me just move that out of the way. flow. So that is the 10. Oh, 10. That's the wheel. Oh my goodness. I thought it was the 10 of cups. It reminded me of that, but this is the wheel. So we're starting with the wheel. That's beautiful. So I do feel like there's a big shift happening, big changes. There's also something, I feel like there's a bit of destiny at play right now. This is Jupiter, and Jupiter hasn't, it won't go retrograde until the end of the month. So you might experience some of that, the effects of fate and destiny kind of, I want to say, showing up in maybe unexpected ways, coming together. So that's, this is what we're embracing. The energy we're embracing is the 2 of cups, the 7 of cups. We're releasing the 7 of cups. Yeah. So it's like kind of being caught in this daydreamy place, this overly dreamy place. So there's coming together here, and then there's also daydreams and decisions, right? So I feel like there's an element of, this could be just sticking to one, like this could be, sticking to one thing, right? And 12, so that is the Hanged Man energy. I feel like this is kind of, so this is how the light gets in, right? This is the story of how the light gets in. And I feel like this is a little bit of you seeing the bigger picture and being willing to understand what you are needing to rememorize or remember. I want to say remember, but rememory is its own concept, right? It's its own concept. So I feel a bit like there's a need to, there's a pulling back and not pausing on everything, but I think you might be inclined to pull back slightly to make sure that you're getting the bigger picture, right? And within Neptune in retrograde right now, as of next week, it will be a little bit easier to pull away from daydreams and this decision, like daydreams and decisions. It'll be a little bit easier to pull out of that energy. So I think, yeah. And I mean, you probably might be feeling, you're probably feeling the shadow of it. It's not as intense a retrograde as others, but it can still be a good time to just to use that energy in a way that allows you to pull out of illusions that you have and, dreamy energy that can make action difficult, right? That can make taking action feel it doesn't feel intuitive. It doesn't feel like it flows as easily. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Aries collective here for their July creative forecast? Please and thank you. I feel like you're going to feel like there are bigger forces at work. And I think it's important to lean into how that feels for you, Aries. It's important to lean into how it feels to just be part of the flow of the bigger picture, right? And allowing yourself to find the joy in that, because there is something really powerful about it, right? There really is. The star. Yeah, that's like a definite healing energy here with that. Just being in the flow is what helps to heal you. Okay, so we have the star, 8 of Wands, King of Cups. There's an aspect of this. There's something that there's an expansion that's taking place within your energy. It could be to do with the ability for you to see a way through. And just hope. I'm hearing hope in terms of the star card here. And also just I think there's a better sense of yourself, right? There's a better sense of yourself in the way that you're sort of activating your internal power, your emotional power, and also your fire, your passion. This could be messages coming in from 2 different people, though. I mean, I do see that with the 2 court cards here, King of Wands and King of Cups. I feel like there could be 2 messages or helpful people, like people who are here to help you and to help you on your path. And that could feel a little bit fated. It could be that there's a way that comes in, whether it's related to relationship or work, that feels really light to you, that feels light in a way that is freeing, but it also feels like this is the manifestation of the wheel turning, not because, there's some things that are outside of your control, but because there's a way that you've laid the groundwork for to be able to welcome this in. So it could be help. This could also be collaborations too, right? There could be this if we're looking at it in terms of your energy, and we're not looking at relationships or connections, this is, I think, just the things are moving more quickly because your energy is matured. Your energy is maturing in the way that you cultivate and handle it and sit with it, right? Your emotional energy and your passion, right? These are definitely, these are also energies of knowing what you want. And I think that helps things to move quickly, because when you have that clarity, it's energy can move. It's not stuck, right? It's not stuck. So 2 of Cups, Spirit, can you please clarify this for me for my Aries collective? Thank you so much. Strength, Death, Magician, 9 of Pentacles. Wow. So the 2 of Cups is a soulmate energy. I'm hearing rock your world. Okay. I think that, so this could be Leo, Scorpio, or Gemini placements in somebody coming in. But beyond that, I feel like this is a coming together. So this could be you taking on projects that have to do with some kind of communication. This is you, the communication just meaning like it could be something to do with marketing. It could be the way that you're marketing yourself, because of the 9 of Pentacles here, the way that you're marketing yourself when it comes to projects or work or your, relationships or what have you. I feel that you are stepping into your power in a way that is, it's like there's a confidence here that wasn't there before. And it's because you recognize there's like an impermanence that you're making peace with. There's an impermanence that needed to be made peace with, because you're understanding that nothing is going to anchor itself for it. I'm trying to, there's an impermanence to things, and attachments were really throwing you out of your energy. They were throwing you out of balance, out of alignment. They were really throwing you for a significant loop. And I think that is what this is like a harmonizing of energies to me. If this is the soulmate card in the traditional Rider-Waite, but, and here that energy is represented as well. But I feel like more than either of those things, this is you bringing energies together within you. This is the coming together possibly of, the things that you've hoped for and the things that you've wanted, and manifesting that concretely. This feels like some kind of relationship or a shift in relationships. Yeah, like new offerings. There's something that this is like things that are important to you, like values, but then values turning principles, and that being a very balanced exchange. So there could be ways that you're showing up. If you're in a relationship already, or if you're, looking at this from a work perspective, this can just be a reinvigoration of the values that you have. And there's an equal exchange of energy. There has to be a reciprocity now. And I think that's something that you might have wrestled with, and maybe you tangled with that because of the impermanence. Like you looked more to the impermanence of things and saw that would always be there. And that's just something you have to, that's part of life, right? So instead of holding yourself back, instead of sitting on the sidelines, there's a Leo energy that you're integrating here of allowing your light to shine, because it's not about attaching to things because it's the perfect thing or it's going to meet a need that you have within you. You're shining because that just feels good. You're in that Leo energy. This could also be representative of Leo season too, but more than that, I'm getting that this is freeing yourself from attachments, and it's making your manifestations lighter. Like the way that you're manifesting feels lighter. Like I feel like this, like I'm hearing like it's like branches falling that were dead anyway. Like it's like, and that's really allowing you to flourish. It's giving you access to all of these tools. It's giving you access to more of your, to more of the like the creative communication that you can engage with spirit and with the world around you now. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please? And daily creatives, oh my goodness, Aries. For Aries, please. 6 of Pentacles on the 7 of Cups. Yeah, it's like, I think that the release here for you during this month in terms of creative energies is about understanding that it has to be about balance. So I think that this is you like releasing this, being in this daydreamy state, in this indecisive place. It's indecision can be helpful when it's protecting us from something or energies. But I think that this indecision can also be because I think this indecision can be because there's a lack of equal exchange here. There's an absence of equilibrium and balance. And when that's the case, I think it's really hard for cycles to come to an end, for things to complete. But I think that that's happening now. You could have fixed energy in your chart. The fixed signs are not set to be overly affected by the Jupiter retrograde as much as other signs. But it depends on where things sit in your chart, right? So what is it that needs to come to an end that feels really out of balance? Because that's the opportunity here. That's what is needing to be released. And, the energies of the full moon in Capricorn are going to be very helpful. They're going to be very useful in that way, right? To really take a look at what is it about the methods? What is it about the practical application of these things in your world? How is balance applied? And then also looking to the other side of that, what feels totally impractical, and is that something that's going to bring situations back into balance? So Spirit, what messages do you have for Aries for July, this creative forecast for July, please? Yeah, I feel like you're stepping back into it's not back into, because this feels new. Like there's a way that because it's the ending of a cycle. The ending of a story is what I just heard. I feel as though that is allowing you to bank on yourself. That's allowing you to invest in yourself in a new way. And this isn't just, vaguely passionate energy. This is you knowing what you want. This is you being excited by life. This is you having ideas and knowing what to do with them, but also knowing what ideas to nurture, what ideas are important to nourish as well. So Spirit, what messages do you have for my Aries collective for this July creative forecast, please? Okay. This Hanged Man energy. 5 of Wands, 6 of Swords, the Wheel, and 2 of Cups. Hilarious. Okay. I'm laughing because it's like the Wheel and the 2 of Cups right here. So I think this is saying how the light gets in is your connections and relationships are going to expand, Aries. And I think that you may need to leave behind ideas that you've held about relationships being a source of conflict, because I think that you'll find that will be what you attract. If that's what you believe relationships to be about, that's why observe, right? You don't have to observe, my rule is observe, don't absorb. And there are times where I do that imperfectly. But I think, Aries, that relationships are going to figure really prominently. And I think that this is something that is kind of on your path. There are connections, be they friendships, be they creative connections, be they collaborations or relationships. This is really and truly on your path. And it's important to use the energy of this time. I think that this is where Jupiter in your sign right now, the retrograde may give you a bit of a pause on things and make you I feel like it's going to be a reflection on the first kind of half of the year. Right. And the first half of the year in terms of what was happening in your relationships, what was happening in your connections. And again, we go back to balance, right? We have a lot of balance cards here, but also their reflection in the imbalances, right? 5 of Wands. We have the 7 of Cups. There is those two energies bookended by all of this other energy tells me that there's a way that these are going to be figuring very prominently. And, even this coming together, right? 2 cards, independent decks that say coming together. And it's like a 66. So that is, I think of the 6s just in terms of the lovers and choices. But I know that if you add the 2 together, 6 and 6 is 12, reduced down to 3. So that's the Empress. which is a kind of a birthing, right? I'm seeing, okay, thank you, Spirit. I'm seeing this as like a Jupiter in Aries energy, right? And the Empress is giving birth to something and bringing it into the world. And then you have the Two of Cups with that, but two coming together cards. So I think that unity, not just unity consciousness, but I think that there is making peace with this process and understanding that you're in a transitional period, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's actually really good for you because it's allowing you to reflect and take in these energies in a way that facilitates the wheel turning so you don't feel like you're turning upon it. Like it's not this medieval torture device. It's actually something that is really, really beautiful and in your best good right now. That's what I'm seeing for you, Aries. So I'm going to pull from the Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, and then I'm also going to pull from the Notes from the Universe just to clarify and to close out this reading. So we have magnetism, attraction. Yeah, I feel like this is your energy, and right now there's a magnetism, and you're drawing in relationships that are new, that are fresh, that are I feel like it's like a breath of fresh air for you, Aries, but not for the reasons that you might think. I think that you are in this magnetizing, this magician energy, right? You're in this magnetic energy because, I'm trying to hold these and there we go. You're in this magnetic energy because you're drawing things to you from a place of stability and security. And it could just be that you've realigned where you thought that stability and security was coming from. I'm not sure how that resonates for you, but I think that it's a different place that you're manifesting from. And I think that's why it's important to take a minute, be in the Hanged Man energy if you want, go up into that space, right? Just to understand not just what to release, but to give yourself that pause to reflect so that you can recognize how far you've come, because that's a really important aspect of this energy too, is reflecting on your journey, not just what's coming, but reflecting on where you've been and feeling really sitting with that and feeling proud of yourself for getting to this point, because there's so much expansion here. There's a lot of expansion, and I see there's a lot of there's healing that's taken place. I feel like there's a partnership, there's connections, there are relationships that are being unlocked right now with this energy, and it's really up to you to make the most of it, right? Spirit, what additional messages do you have for Aries? Freedom. Yeah, this is the release. I saw the death card as I just started to read this first line, so I'm going to put it here. 2727 was just on the time. Okay. I release all tears, sadness, and the attachment to closing up and playing small in order to allow my throat to open fully. I open my throat and allow myself to breathe, sing, laugh, and cry. My voice is an instrument through which I heal myself and others. And that's also some of this Gemini and Mercury energy here, right, in the Magician. Now, Gemini is typically represented by the Lovers, but because Gemini rules Mercury, I tend to associate them. And it's also that voice, right, like that speaking, that being present, that being out, right? So, and the beautiful part here is I heal. So this energy of healing, this deep healing, it's like you're allowing this for yourself right now. And this is beautiful energy in general to just be sinking into. Oops. I feel like you're remembering your rememory. You're actually remembering what it feels like. Like, it's like you're remembering. There's like a way that you may have forgotten what it felt like to connect with other people really deeply. I mean, and a lot of us, that's true just based on the pandemic, right? Like, what does that feel like to be connected in that way again, right? So, Spirit, what messages do you have for Aries for this June creative forecast, please? So things are not as they appear. I think this is less about it. I mean, this could be illusion. This could also be illusions that you have about yourself, right? Illusions that you have about your power. And it's about stepping into that. So again, relationships are going to figure pretty prominently for you based on this reading. And I think too, your relationship to yourself, right, Aries, your relationship to yourself is going to be quite important. And a really good way to look at, a good time to look at that will be the Jupiter retrograde period starting on July 28th. And I think, July 28th or 29th. Let me just see here. 29th, sorry. And so it's not so much about your luck going in reverse. This is going to be a time for you to reflect on everything that's happened up to this point in the year. Think of it as like a halfway mark, right? 6 month mark on the year, and being able to reflect inward and say, have I prioritized myself? Have I honored myself? How have I shown up for myself in ways that have allowed me to be present with other people? How is my heart space activated right now? How is my heart center empowered? Right? So that is your message though, Aries. So if this resonated, please give it a like and subscribe. It helps me to continue to grow this channel, which I really appreciate. And I greatly appreciate your time and energy here. So thank you for investing that here. There are a ton of other readers that you could be watching. So I appreciate that. And you. There are other ways you can connect on the channel if you would like, but if we leave it here, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, it finds you very well, Aries. Have a wonderful July.